Welcome everybody to the Watchlist, your virtual TV guide where we review and discuss all the shows released across all platforms of streaming, and we'll set you up for the following week towards the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Of course, as always, I'm joined here by my very lovely co-host, Ambassador of Love, live from Houston, TV guru himself, El Señor Jaime, aka Chewy. How's it going, big bro?
Hey, bud, what's going on, man?
Another glorious week of fantasy. I wouldn't even mention that.
Eh, for
You know,
some of us,
I might have to set up
I'm glad
a.
I'm in 3 leagues because one of them just ugh.
I might have to do a memoriam for your league pretty soon. Which brings me to in memoriam this week, Chewy.
Here we go.
Very
We
sad
got the announcement.
news.
Well, I know. I think we know what you're talking about, but it might be too soon. But let's wait and see.
Agreed, and I'll discuss that as well. But now we're talking about. But yeah, still quick in memoriam. So I want everybody to know a little moment of silence to yourselves and the very sad passing, of course, of a show on Hulu, FX Hulu, and that is Why the Last Man, which lasted a whopping season. And I can't say I'm really surprised here because this is a show I said when we first talked about it, it was planned for 5 seasons. I was the first to say that's never going to last 5 seasons based on what I saw. Not that I hated it. I don't think it did either. But yeah, the show is just, it's just meandered around. I get why they cancel it. Now, yes, Chewy, you alluded to a possibility of it not really canceling. That's more the fact that they're shopping the show around, right?
Hmm.
But at this point, it's dead. It's a wrap. If it comes back, whatever. I don't see it come back with the same showrunner though, at all. I
No,
mean,
no, definitely.
yeah,
Well, I mean, this one's one of these shows you just got. I mean, it changed runners, changed actors, changed a bunch of stuff before it even got off the ground. So it was having issues just to get to this point. But yeah, we'll
yeah.
see.
They had
We'll
no
see.
do. Yeah, didn't know do with the story. The main character is terrible. It's just not a very good show. I'm finishing because I'm already invested. I'll see how whatever. But I mean, yeah, if they change the showrunner and all that, it goes to Amazon, Netflix, or whatever. Fine, maybe I'll reconsider watching it. But yeah, so it's well, I don't know if we should even finish the season because it's not on next season too. So you might as well just stop watching now. 'Cause what's the point? I can go back and rewatch the last couple if it's picked up by another network or another streaming service. But that being said, yeah. So if you guys are watching it, be forewarned. You're not gonna get season two. If you guys enjoy the show, I'm sure some of you guys do, and that's great. But yeah, so not so sad news, but whatever. Maybe for some it is just not for us. I do want to talk about a movie first before we get into the TVs, the shows this week, and we want to revisit a show that we both think really are high on
Hmm.
this season. And that is we'll start with Dune, which got released on
Yes,
same day as theater on HBO Max.
the
I
Max.
had my review a few weeks ago. I had my thoughts on it. Chewy, I assume you saw it. If you did, what do you think about it?
I did. I saw it last night. And full disclosure, I kind of remember seeing the original Dune. Maybe not such a long time ago. I haven't rewatched it since. I read the book. I didn't
Right.
watch that. I completely forgot there was a sci-fi series on it. I never watched that for whatever reason, or
I heard
never
it
got
wasn't good
into it.
anyway, but yeah,
Okay, well, it was sci-fi, so at
sure,
the time, yeah, whatever. Sci-fi was just throwing spaghetti in the wall.
of course.
But obviously, so I remember, it started. It was a very long movie back then, and it was very weird and odd. A lot of stuff that I just didn't understand because I never read the book and I was much younger. I watched this and I enjoyed it. Right, it was kind of interesting. Like when I first started watching it, it goes part one, like right off the title block, Dune
Yeah.
Part One. So I'm like, okay, so what am I getting here? That was a little odd, right? To say part one right off the bat,
Hmm.
because the way it ended, it really didn't give me a conclusion. It's kind of gave me that dot 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 to be continued. But aside from that, I thought it was pretty good. I think it was enjoyable, visually stunning. I watched a nice 4K TV. And I obviously there's bits and pieces that I remember from the original movie, right? That were with the betrayal, the scenes, the fighting, the cool little shield action stuff. Where I think in the original movie it was kind of blocky and looked kind of weird, and here it was actually
Yeah,
it
I
was
mean
obviously a
it's
lot, a lot better.
80s effects, man. We were like a couple
Yeah,
steps ahead of claymation at that point. So,
yeah.
um,
So, but I hope. Did they bring it part two? I mean, is it a go or what's going
not
on?
yet. It's all signs point towards yes, but the box office will find out later. I think it was projected in the 30s. That's not a very good
Okay.
number, and this is a very expensive film. I don't know. I thought I liked it. It's good. It's just not a great film. Another reviews of it. Oh my god, it's not. I don't think it's to that level. It's an amazing film. It's not. Maybe after seeing the second one, you put it all together, see holistically, maybe it's a fantastic film in there. But you're right. It's
You know
just,
I could appreciate doing this kind of did a much better job versus the original Dune of explaining the pieces, the chess match, right? Where I watched the first Dune again, and I don't remember the book much because I read it a long time ago. It was a very long time
it's
ago.
very, very dense.
Yes,
as
and
is
I
the
think
film.
that was the reason. Yeah,
Yeah, the film is the
but
same.
I think this one, the way they break it up, kind of better explained what was going on behind the scenes, right? And I could follow along. Okay, now this makes a lot more sense. But the original, we had the Sting character and their Harkonnens and their Atreides, and it was just too much and too soon.
And I think we were very. I mean, as a kid, it's hard to follow that for any kid. It'd be hard for a kid to follow this because it's a lot. It's a big film. It's a long film. If you're tired, don't watch it because it's a very slow film. It really is. It's my only minor complaint. It does look fantastic though. But it's good. I just didn't love it. And it's not a complete movie. It doesn't stand alone. There's no ending. It's like the first two acts of the film. Okay, well, what happened to the third act? Well,
I have to come back.
We're waiting to see. This show would have been an incredible series, and I really wish they would have gone that route. But
if they'd done it like this, probably.
Yes, I think so.
I'm actually kind of bummed that they killed Jason Momoa's character, man. Duncan.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
That being said,
if you saw the original and read the book,
I know, but that's probably 10 people who read the book and 5 of them don't remember it. Yeah. But Jason Momoa was the best guy in the movie, the best character in the film.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
he had light. Everyone else was kind of just like kind of drab. I mean, I guess it's a good film. It's just not. I think it's a little bit overrated. I still enjoyed it. It's still good. Still worth watching, no doubt. If you can watch it in theater, great because it looks incredible. We got a nice. TV.
I mean, that was one change I wish they would have made. Right, was keeping that character alive. And they could have, right? You don't have to stick to the source.
Oh no, yeah, they could have. They won, yeah, because he had life. He was just charismatic, and the film just took a different turn when he's in it. I mean,
yes, absolutely.
But I mean, whatever. Listen, it's fine. It's good. Watch it. Definitely. It's just I will curb my expectations, and you have to watch it. You have to focus on this film. Put your phone away because it's a lot. It's dense. And if you're tired, don't watch it because it's almost 240, maybe 235, and so it's a lot. So
235.
Yeah, be forewarned. That being said, let's revisit a show here. I'm gonna go back, then we go to TV here. A show we talked about that came out on Hulu, which I really was not looking forward to. I know you had mentioned to me. I had Martin Short and the great Steve Martin and
Selena Gomez.
who I haven't liked that much recently.
The aforementioned Sting.
Sting, of course. And we show came out. We talked about how surprised we were, how good this show was, and the finale, came through. So now you can binge watch this show. And this is, for me, and I think I'll speak for you as well, Chewy, absolute must-watch TV.
Man, if you're not watching this, what is wrong with you? This is a funny, great mystery, great chemistry with the actors and the characters. It's not dumbed down where they spoon feed you everything. I was honestly surprised it was kind of spoiled. Should I not spoil?
Yeah. No,
okay.
No spoil anything. No spoil.
Okay. So the ending kind of surprised me of the whodunit. Right. I'm generally surprised, right? Because they danced around so many different options and characters, and they kind of built it up. And at the end, it was like, obviously they kind of gave it away in episode 9. Right, but before that, I don't think I could have seen that. I don't think the clues were there that it was this particular person.
They did a good job of revealing who the killer was without going. I'd assume it coming out of nowhere, right? Everything was set up the right way. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. So they piece it together really well. That's what's so good of the show. It's fun, like legitimately funny show, and the mystery really works, and the tone is great. Steve Martin, particularly in the last episode, is awesome.
Oh my god, the physical comedy in that episode was just like ridiculous, classic.
It's vintage Martin. Like this is the Martin I remember back growing up in the 80s and the early 90s. Just so good. Just
to set up, he is poisoned, but he's not dead, and he is literally, but he's lost all motor function, so he's literally flopping on the floor, trying to get out. Get into the elevator. Everybody thinks he's drunk and he can't speak, and so they literally leave him. They throw a card here, call my doctor. And it was just, and then when he tries to call Siri, they go back to Sting. They start playing Fields of Gold.
That's funny. Yeah, it's a great reference to early episodes.
And it goes, not playing Sting.
And the scene where he's in the chair and he thinks he's not in the
Oh,
chair. I mean,
yeah. Oh,
just
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. In his mind, he's giving his great speech, and then like, wait, no, rewind.
yeah. He's
Just
like
on the
mumbling
chair.
words because in his head he thinks he's talking, but the poison's got him. So, but yeah, no, and yeah, this show just. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine. I was like, dude, you got to watch this show. It's really great. And what he's talking about. We were talking about Ted Lasso before, and I was like, if I had to choose between the two, I slightly choose Ted Lasso, but I
Oh,
could be
that's a tough call.
all right. I
That's
could
a
be
tough
convinced
call.
to choose this show, but that's just how good this show is. 'Cause we love Ted Lasso,
Yeah.
and I mean, I think the best comedy
But
around.
I mean, yeah, I
It's
mean,
different
the
kind of
more
show. Don't get me
comedies
wrong.
because,
Yeah.
but one, like I said, this is a murder mystery,
Right.
right?
It's
Ted
a
Lasso
different
is
show.
about relationships, so it's not
Yeah.
it's not apples to apples. Yes, they're both
No.
comedies, but
No. No.
technically, but
No.
it's not
Exactly.
the same type
Oh
of
no, it's a
comedy.
different kind of show, and it's great.
Mm.
And this relationship here too, the bond between Steve Martin, Short, and Selena Gomez really works, and they come out really good in the end. And with the ending, they what most shows should do: wrap up the season and set up the next season, right?
Mhm.
And that's what any show should do. Don't let it linger to the next season. Set us up so okay, now we have a good understanding what season 2 is going to be about, and they really set that up really well. With a callback to the very first scene of the first episode, which I forgot about. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, that's right. I don't want to spoil it, but great show, man. It's must watch. Must watch. You see, now if you're not into the weekly thing, you can see it now. You can binge
Go ahead, binge it
all 10 episodes now on Hulu.
in a half hour, so it won't even take that
Yes, 30
long.
minutes long, 20, 30 minutes, 32. It's the very short episodes. Unfortunately, that's the only bad thing about the show is it's not long enough as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. But
I
it's
know,
must
but
watch. Yeah, it's must
I
watch.
also want to mention that the episode with no dialogue that was such
Fantastic.
a
Yeah,
that was
fantastic show.
I
Yeah.
think it was called The Boy in 6 Feet because there is a character who's mute, and he's the son of one of the tenants, and the whole episode we get it from his perspective, so we hear no dialogue until the very end, but they play it in such a unique way where it kind of looks forced in some places, right? And some
Sure.
places it just seems natural, but it's good. But you get it from his perspective, so it's everything's sign language, everything is through subtitles, everything's just how is see the world and his memories. And as the character's about to say something, they cut away to another one. The funniest scene against Steve Martin, and that's one scene where he's playing Scrabble with his girlfriend,
Oh
and
man,
where there's so much sexual innuendo where
that
he's
was
like he brought out the word wood,
the
and she brought
sex.
out the word wet, and she brought out her. I'm like,
Any show
good
that makes
God.
Scrabble sexy, kudos to you because I've never seen that. I'm like, okay, that was very funny, very interesting. Like, great. I mean,
Yeah.
it's such a well written show. I can't recommend the show enough. Watch it,
Mm.
absolute must. You're gonna enjoy it. Must watch TV. Unlike the next show I'm gonna talk about here, there's a
Uh-oh.
couple of shows which
I know.
just
Here it comes.
didn't hit their mark this week. We'll start with the first one. This was
Didn't hit the mark.
on Peacock.
Missed the mark, dude.
Yeah, the girl in the woods came out on Peacock on Thursday. I think all 8 episodes, 10 episodes, whatever, dropped at the same time. So
8 episodes,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not one of those drop 3 and then weekly. Yeah, I saw 3 and I'm out. The show, the cool premise, is just with this girl from this kind of this, you know, community, and that's not a cult per se, but it's that kind of very not it's like this cult-like community that's there, I guess, to train the youngins. They all grow up to protect the world from evils behind this door that's in the middle of the woods, something along those lines. And I guess one of the girls from that community leaves. She wants to run away, makes friends with a couple women, a couple girls, well, a guy and a girl anyway. And she's being chased from the village, and there's a monster on the loose, and whatever. It's interesting premise, but dude, this is the blandest, dullest show. Oh my god, it just did not work. I mean, I struggled with 3 episodes. I'm like, I'll watch 3 because maybe
And these were
it's
half
better.
hour episodes on
Right,
top
at
of
30
that.
minutes, which is the sad part, right? And it's just unimaginative. If something like these monsters or whatever, there's no horror aspect, anything to hang on to. The main character, she's bland as hell. This is not a good show. I'm not going back and finish this. I so not recommend the show. It's not even funny, Chewy. It seems like you're agreeing with me on
No,
this one.
no, this is bad. This is really really bad. It seems like they didn't know how to write an hour long episode, and they took the episode and decided, okay, let's chop it here, let's chop it there. It's just
Yeah, it's
it's
rubbish. It's nonsense.
yeah.
It's just a great premise with this, but it's so dull. It's just, oh
I
my
was
god.
expecting a more horror because it's horror
Right,
heavy because it's
exactly.
Halloween and mystery and monsters, and I get the main monster was just weird, man. It was like
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
and it's a little YA, which is fine, but it's just they're not interesting. The main character, if the main character is not interesting, I like Why the Last Man. This is why you get canceled.
Out.
Same
Yeah.
thing. It's just it is what it is. So
Emote.
don't bother. Absolutely not. Murs in the building still out there. Please go watch that. Another one which I have a bone to pick with. Not a terrible show. I'm curious to see what you thought about it too. And this is on Apple Plus, and that is
Oh,
Invasion, a show I was really looking forward to. 3 episodes dropped. I saw the three, and
I saw
it's
two.
it's funny you call the show Invasion. It's about alien invasion, and they show everything except the alien invasion or anything about an invasion for the most part. For the most part. So it's
Thanks for spoiling the third episode.
but there's nothing to spoil because they don't show anything anyway. So it's just like you go to the strip club and you get to go to the champagne room. The girl's dancing, takes her socks off, and say, "Okay, that's it." Well, wait a minute, where's the rest here?
Hold on. I gotta investigate that. Take your socks off. Where are you going, dude?
Whatever. She took her shoes off or her stockings off. Point being,
Where's this in Miami, dude?
yeah, I'm sure some girls wear
Because
socks.
maybe the pun is a bit different from Miami.
This
Maybe
is how long I've been to the strip club, how long it's been. But point being, she didn't finish the job. We didn't go see her feet. We want to see the rest. And this shows like, okay, promise some. I mean, I was expecting, not Independence Day 4, but ID4, but something along those lines. We saw the Tomorrow War. Something like I was, but I wanted to see more of that. And they don't have to show it. They focus here more on the human aspect. And yeah, there's an invasion going on. They allude to some things here and there, but they're focusing on like Sam Neill's in it. He's one of the headline characters. He's some sheriff in a small town. There's his wife and husband who are having marital issues somewhere in New York,
New Jersey.
New
Yeah.
Jersey.
There's a kid in England. There's
yes.
the JSA engineer in Tokyo, Japan. And then obviously there's a military aspect in with Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Yeah, in the Middle East somewhere. And so they're focusing on these characters, and it's like the show. Oh my God! If it's an hour long, it feels like I'm watching Dune. Every episode, it's like 3 hours. I mean, it's so slow and plotting. I'm like, oh my God! And it's fine if you give us something exciting or cool, some good science fiction aspect to a show that's called Invasion. We show us invasion, right? And then it's okay to show us the aftermath and people dealing with it. That's fine, but I don't know, Chewy. I'm not off the show because it is well done, it's well produced, and I'm hoping. I'll pay for another song in the champagne room. Hoping he at least takes the top off. So I'm hoping that's what happens. So I'll continue to watch it because I'm not saying it's not terrible. It's just not what I expected or out of a show like this, Chewy. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I got the episode 2, and at the end of the episode 2, there is there's action, right? And I thought, okay, great, because the first 2 episodes were heavy on the character exposition, and obviously these are characters that are not related, but there's just great different aspects of what's going on and trying to give you like a global picture, right? It's not just one; it's happening everywhere, right? Simultaneously. And I thought, okay, great. Episode 2, we get to an attack, we get to something, right? The military finds something, and I was looking forward to episode 3. Sounds like not.
Episode 3 follows the game plans episode 1 and 2.
That's a problem.
That's what I'm saying. That it's a big problem.
I mean, it's 10 episodes, and they already dropped the first 3, and the first 3 is heavy. What am I going to expect for 10?
And this is the problem with the show. What's going on with these characters, for the most, not all of them, but some of them, it could be told without the aspect of the invasion angle.
Probably.
For the most part, right? So it's like, well, then what's the point of the invasion? I'm sorry, it's got to coincide. The story's got to intertwine somehow. So I don't know. I'm hopeful, but yeah, the episode 3, it's just status quo. It's what you've seen. So just curb your expectations. Yeah. If you're not going to see, oh, finally, here it is. No. By the end of episode 3, it doesn't set it up like episode 2 did. Where it might tease you like, oh, now, I don't really get that. Like, okay, we'll see something. There's no aliens. We don't see anything. So it's just a weird show. I don't know what to make of it right now. But I'm not recommending at this point. I'm not off it, but I'm not recommending it. It's filler at best. It's better shows foundation Apple Plus. We'll talk about in a couple weeks that you probably should be watching over this for sure. I will say in the plus side, it is better than Girl in the Woods. I mean, Girl in the Woods is so bad it made One of Us is Lying seem like the first season of Game of Thrones. But yeah, that's not happening. So that's the bad out of the way. Let's talk about a couple of shows that I did enjoy. I'm not sure if you saw one. I know one. I'm sure you did. But one I mentioned last week, animated show on Netflix called Inside Job.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that one by chance?
No, no, I
Okay.
caught the trailer, but yeah, I didn't get to. Maybe I'll watch it now instead of jumping off, going in the woods.
Yeah, and this is gonna be a light week, which we'll talk about by the end of the week. But yeah, it's not bad. It's 30-minute episodes, 20-minute, whatever, 22-minute episodes, just shorts, animation in the vein of, Family Guy and The Simpsons. Along those lines, not quite as good. Let's just make that straight. But it's really cool. The main character, I guess, so the whole story, she's the head of this secret government, right? That really runs everything, right? And all these conspiracy theories that you hear about, they're the ones creating and all that, people behind the current, if you will. A lot of strange shit going on, and I guess she has an issue. She has a people social issues, so they hire some guy some newbie to come help her out and co-manage, the department. This guy's kind of very goofy, very naive, so they're clashing, and there's all these scenarios that come about. Like, for example, that there's a division that they clone, and there's a clone of like John F. Kennedy, and he escapes, and John F. Kennedy clones his John F. Kennedy, so they get the guy from the grassy knoll who really killed Kennedy, the grassy knoll, who's like 90 years old, to help out, try to assassinate him. He's all excited. Yeah, back to work, and he's got his rifle. So stuff like that's very zany. These references, tons of references. There's one episode that takes place in a town that they were gassed to believe they're still in the 80s and remain in the 80s, so they can sell toys that were banned from that era, now make money to sell to these people. So I'm saying it's a really interesting concepts in there. Not every episode is great, but there's some really good ones. The dating one. This show is really funny, man. I like that a lot, and the references are just wow. And even some obscure ones. They have one of Avril Lavigne, and they actually show her as a clone. It's like, okay, damn, no one's heard her in 20 years. Not all of our references work, but there's a lot of cool shit in here, man. There's a kid in the poster in the back. You see Kazan with Shaq in the back
Oh
in
my
his verse.
god!
So there's a lot of weird shit going on in the show. You watch these little news clips and there's things on the bottom. It's really kind of funny. It's a wacky show. And I think it's not Rick and Morty. They don't get it twisted, but it's along that kind of humor to some degree. Not for kids, that's for sure. But I think I'm recommend this. It was actually pretty good. And for 20 minutes, this one can last you. True, I think you like this. This is better than the other one. What's the one you like on Netflix? That's the animated one with the fairy tale one or something.
The fairy tale one.
Man, Sam Growing I think did it too. Man, she's I don't know when the name of the show. It's an animated show. It's 2 seasons that came out. I know you used to
On
watch it.
Hulu?
No, no, on
No,
Netflix. Enchanted, not Enchanted.
no, that's not
It doesn't
animated.
matter either way, but it's a good show. I'm recommending it. I think you guys should definitely check it out. The last one here, I know you've been watching this one too. I assume you are, and I'm sure that we are fans of the first year, and that's Lock and Key. Season 2 dropped on Netflix. I saw about 3 episodes so far. Chewy, get your thoughts on it first.
I watched 2 episodes. I was going to third one today, and I was a fan of season one, and I'm still a fan. I enjoyed it. I think this is definitely taking a much darker tone than season one, which I know you will appreciate, and I will appreciate because this deserves that darker tone. The character, the antagonist, the Dodge character is not a good person, right? And so they should reflect that and what he or she is willing to do to gain power, keep power, and get what he wants at the end of the day, or what she wants. I'm still not sure what it is, but I enjoyed it. I mean, the little kid's still naive as they come, which is annoying as hell, man. But whatever, man. It's little kids, man, right? But it's deepening the mystery, right? They're finding out things, as they finally find out as they turn 18. They're starting to not the kid, not the Locke family, but the people around them are starting to lose their memory. So there's a finite level of how people retain that information and know about it, right? So it's not intended for adults. And so that's also leading to the mystery, making new keys. We kind of got a glimpse into one of them, which was pretty gruesome, where they killed that one gentleman with
Mm-hmm.
that key, and
Yeah.
so we get a little flashback. So far so good, man. I like
Yeah.
the show. I like,
No, it's good. Yeah, you're right. Because obviously it's just like it's a fantasy. It's family friendly. I think I'm recommending. I like season 2. I saw, like I said, I saw 3. We get a new key where it's called "It's a Small World." I'll leave it at that. Not to spoil it for you. But that's the name of the episode, and the keys obviously in relation to that. So yeah, it's good. It's a good fantasy. And I said it is a little bit darker. Not a
you
whole
know,
lot
I,
darker. A little bit darker.
Yeah, yeah. I like that finally because I knew from last season there was the one character Kim who is in a mental institution, but basically she's just catatonic, right? And
Right.
that
Right.
was up because when the original when Dodge originally came out, right, trapped her in her mind. And I was thinking last season, why didn't someone just figure out this go in her mind and let her out, right? because we kind of got exposed to the mind key and where you could trap someone's conscience in a room, right, and not let them out, but their physical body would still be there. So I'm glad that they finally figured it out, and that character came out. So that was, to me, that seemed obvious. Like, hello, put two and two together, and let her out.
Right. You know, exactly. It's a better decision making this time around.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
But yeah, but as I said, it's a fun show, and I like it. It's entertaining. It's a good, and it's good for family shows as well. Like it's not as darker this year, but not dark where it's like, yeah, kids shouldn't watch it. Just a little extra violence in there, but it's not a big deal. But it's a fun show. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
There's a lot
so.
of extra violence, dude. I mean,
killing
the movie attendant.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's still not over the top, like, you know, like
no, it's not a slasher. It's not a slasher.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they make a slasher film as a joke, but it's not a slasher show. But there is some gruesome deaths.
Yeah, there's some blood and stuff. Yeah, it's a little bit of gore, but not, like I said, not to the extreme level. It's fine.
No.
Fun show. I'm enjoying it. I guess I like this show. It's not a great show. It's what Chewy would allude to as filler show, right? You know, to watch. This is a light week. This is a show you can probably pick up again if you can't watch, if you don't have Hulu. That's still the show I recommend you guys watch. You know, if you want to fall asleep, put on Invasion, and maybe you take a nap for like 3 hours.
Invasion.
But that being said, obviously I think the big winner for me is Inside Job and, of course, Murders in the Building. Good finale, the way it ended. So that being said, Chewy, next week is a little light. It's very light. So this gives us a chance to catch up and finish some of the shows we're talking about today, to say the least. And obviously you guys out there, like I said, it's not a lot to go on. But we got a couple of things. One, Chewy, you can educate me on this show. It's called Paradise on HBO Max, dropping on the 28th, which is on Thursday. What's this one about?
I believe this is the international Brazilian show. I know it's in Portuguese, right? So there'll be subtitles. And so obviously the HBO Max is committed to making some quality international shows, like 30 Coins that we saw earlier this year, which didn't really finish the way we had hoped. But through 9 episodes, it was still interesting, and we hope it does a better job. But this is one of these supernatural thrillers that happens in, I think it's Brazil. I hope I'm not getting the wrong place. And so it looks somewhat interesting. I don't know much more about it because I kind of just saw the preview. So I'm going to check out 1 or 2 episodes. Well, 1 episode, probably we could drop and see if it hooks me in or not.
Yeah, I think it's a weekly release. I don't know. Or probably HBO Max.
Probably, yeah.
Kind of how they roll.
They don't drop it. Everything with them is 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll check it out. Like I said, international shows are very good. Like My Name, I really liked. I finished that one last week. Very good Korean show. The other one's a movie on Netflix, Army of Thieves, produced by Mr. Zack Snyder, which is kind of like in the same world as Army of the Dead, which came out earlier this year.
Well, it is the same world.
It's in the same. It is in the same world. I'm not sure if it's during, before, after kind of thing. But before. Okay, yeah. So one of the main characters in that one, they're the safecracker.
Hence the word prequel, but whatever.
Oh, is that a prequel? Okay, I wasn't sure like what was going on with that.
Yes.
But the main character, I know he's
one of the characters was the safecracker, and who unnecessarily died or sacrificed himself in the movie, which and that was my biggest issue with that movie, was where he saves a guy and it closes. Like, why can't you just come in and close the door with you? Why do you have to sacrifice yourself? Whatever, dude. So this one has that character, so that's why it's a.
And he was one of the better characters in the film, by the way. Yeah,
man. Yeah, it was quirky. It was funny. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
This is strictly. It's not going to be a zombie. It's not the zombies around. Obviously, it's in the world, a prequel of Army of the Dead, but this focuses more on a heist that's going on. And a heist,
You son of a bitch.
I'm in. So let me a good heist. If it's done well, it looks cool. Zack Snyder's producing that, directing it. But that's
I will push back. I think there is something zombies, because you can hear reports.
There's reports, right?
There's something zombies. So this is like right before. I mean, obviously, because I'm not sure. I forgot how much time between where we see from the onset, which we saw in the first movie with the military transport, to where we get to where they sealed off Las Vegas completely. How much time transpired between those 2 events? But this happens maybe right towards the beginning and before we get to full on isolated Las Vegas.
But they're not like doing a heist within this.
No.
The zombies are somewhere else. Yeah, that's going on, but the focus is strictly on a heist and all that. So it looks fun, looks interesting. Fingers crossed. It's Netflix, so roll them dice, see what happens. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's got to be better than Girl in the Woods, which is in there running for the worst show of the year, as far as I'm concerned. But that being said, Chewy, I think that's it for this week. So again, some good stuff in there. Next week, if we'll be back, we'll talk about those two shows. And I think maybe a couple of things always drop that I don't see, and that we don't talk about. We'll bring up and discuss either way. But that being said, my condolences to all the fans of Why the Last Man again. Too bad, so sad. And we'll bury that next to Chewy's fantasy team. Why is the show on? Still on. That being said, subscribe below, support the channel. We got Nurse Planning. We got another show, which we're still trying to get off the ground. We're having some more technical difficulties, and it is what it is. But that being said, appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.